Space and Rocket Review. Space and Rocket Review. YouTube girls, tell your friends. Space and Rocket Review. What's going on, everybody? I'm EJ. This is the EJ's Space and Rocket Review from January 22nd, 2026. What's going on? How you doing? Tell your friends. Space and Rocket Review. Okay, I'm almost done. Give me one moment. Okay, all right, cool. We are friends? Yeah, well. All right. Okay, we should be good. I got a good amount of stuff here for you. For today, we got some Artemis 2 updates. Rocket Lab blew up a tank. Let's see. Anything else? I'm just getting finished up here. Different view of the front falling off. There's some Axiom posts. Oh, that's so bad. Jeez. So yeah, SpaceX popped another tank too. Rocket Lab popped the tank, and yeah, bunch of crazy stuff. So I think we'll start with come on, brain. Sorry, I'm just getting everything. I always put the links in order to try and get it right. So okay, here. So check this out. Here we go. This morning, Blue Origin launched the NS-38 mission. This is a suborbital space tourism mission here. And yeah, headphone users. This might get a little loud. Headphone users, you've been warned. 10 seconds. New Shepard took off from Blue Origin's Van Allen, Texas launch site.
5,000 feet.
And had a successful landing of their New Shepard tail here.
Landing legs deployed.
Welcome home, Tail 4.
Big shout out to our friends in Kent, Texas.
Okay. We could do without Blue Origin's commentary. And then we had a good touchdown of the crew here right after that.
Rogue deployment.
This is in a set of missions here, you know, Blue Origin's like, I just want to point out that Blue is basically been launching a New Shepard rocket a month. They've been doing it for a little while now, which is pretty crazy. Also, tail number 4. So that was New Shepard at tail number 4. That first stage from this rocket, well, the stage from the rocket, that was its 17th flight on a 106-day turnaround. 17th flight. and 16th flight for the RSS first step. Now, I get it, guys. It's just suborbital stuff, but still, that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad at all. Pretty cool.
Home NS38.
Welcome home, NS38. So now the next thing is also Blue Origin. So this is what I mean about moving the links around. Because while we're talking about that, we will move into a couple of different things here. First thing is that we have the next New Glenn on the books. Blue announced this morning, that New Glenn's next mission, NG3, will send AST Space Mobile's next generation Block 2 Bluebird satellites into low Earth orbit. We previously thought that this mission was going to be their Blue Moon Mark 1 lander, but now we've seen a pivot to AST Space Mobile's Bluebird satellites. AST is another competitor for satellite internet and satellite cell surface. But here's the kicker, dudes. That's in collab with your company. That's cool. That's cool. Right on. Do they also display the date wrong? Because the way I do it is right. Whammy. Yeah, I said Van Allen, didn't I? Van Allen, Van Horn, Texas. Sorry, brain's a little fuzzy today. Anyway. So here's the kicker. The NG3 mission will reuse the Glenn Stage 1 from NG2. Yep, that's right. A reuse on the third flight. How's that? That first stage flew not very long ago, dudes. What did I tell you? This is what I've been saying about Blue. The way the New Glenn program is kind of unfolding is not like Falcon 9, where they started launching it a lot and they expended it a lot. No. New Glenn is designed to be reusable right out of the gates. The reuse is built into the design. It wasn't retrofitted and then baked into the design like what it was, like Falcon 9 was. That's not necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. All I'm saying is that this stage flew a month ago. Maybe. A little bit more than a month ago. That's pretty crazy. The mission is net late February. So no earlier than late February. So that probably, like, let's be real, that means March. That means March. And at that point, let's see. At that point, okay, so it was, if, man, that New Glenn mission doesn't seem like it was that long. It was that long ago. That was November 13th. So that was 2 months ago. Well, actually, 3 months ago. It didn't seem like it was that long ago. So 4-month reuse on the first stage is pretty good. But that feeds a lot more into what I was saying about New Glenn in general. I think part of the reason why we only saw 2 flights in 2025 when Blue Origin was planning 6 is because they lost that first tail. They lost the first Glenn Stage 1. So you're saying there's a chance. They lost that one. I do not think that was intended behavior. And I very much think that that screwed up their mission schedule. And that's the reason why they didn't meet their launch goals for 2025. This kind of proves it, right? Because this mission is using the stage from the last mission, which tells me that at this point in time, they were planning to have 2 New Glenn first stages instead of 1. But yeah, pretty cool. I have it, Outdoorsman, don't worry. Yeah, pretty good stuff. Blue is not screwing around. Speaking of that, that's the next bit of news, Admana. Check this out. So Dave Limp, he's the CEO, Dave Limp. He's the CEO of Blue Origin. What makes TerraWave different? It's purpose-built for enterprise customers. Unmatched speed of up to 6 terabits per second through a multi-orbit constellation of 5,280. Nice, good number. Low Earth orbit and 128 medium Earth orbit satellites with both RF and optical links. Globally distributed customers can each access up to 144 gigabits per second of capacity through QV band links from LEO satellites, while up to 6 terabits per second point-to-point capacity can be accessed through optical links from medium Earth orbit satellites. This provides the reliability and resilience needed for real-time operations and massive data movement. It also provides backup connectivity during outages, keeping critical operations running, plus the ability to scale on demand and rapidly deploy globally while maintaining performance. Looking forward to support our customers with this capability. So Blue Origin announced a new project called TerraWave. It's a satellite communications network designed to deliver symmetrical data speeds up to 6 terabits per second anywhere. TerraWave architecture consists of 5,400 optically interconnected satellites in LEO and MEO, reaching remote, rural, and suburban areas. So, I'll be 100% honest with you, and maybe somebody can help me understand. What is the difference between this and Project Kuiper? Or Amazon Leo? Are these new satellites? Are we getting rid of Amazon Leo? What's going on? AWS in space. Yeah, I theorized that that's what Amazon Leo was for. Different companies. What? Kuiper is for normal people. This is for government and big companies. Oh. Okay. I would really be curious to know what type of orbit these satellites are going into. Yeah, Advanta, no, Philly's good people. And I'm sure it's being designed with Golden Dome and other secret mill stuff in mind. Yep. Starshield. It's like Starshield versus Starlink, Philly. I get it. Yeah. Okay. The Combo Leo MEO allow for big backhaul, longer distances with less satellites. It's a hybrid deployment that covers gaps and allows flexible low Earth orbit deployment. Yep. This is between Starlink, Starshield, Amazon Leo, this, and everybody else that wants to do a proliferated low Earth orbit network, whatever the Chinese come up with for this, or the West Taiwanese come up with for this, I'm kind of like, okay, that's a lot of PLEO constellations operating all at once. Man. Elon replied with the space laser update in this post. Oh. Which one? Is it Dave Limp's post? Because all I have is Joey, Alex, and a couple other people. Interesting. I don't see any Ellen replies there. It looks like the big advertised difference is the bandwidth available to customer turbulent. Yeah, I read that already. Yeah, I got you, man. Yeah. Just to note, 5,000, about 15 to 20% increase in low Earth. Dude. I'm getting a migraine and I can't think straight, but that's fine. That's fine. We'll power through it. 5,000 is just 15 to 20% increase in low Earth orbit objects currently. Cool. Interesting. Will we be able to see the stars? I'll get back to you on that one. Drink more water. Do you have migraine meds? I do, actually. All right, I'm good. I want more, but I gotta drink the freaking Canadian water. All right. Well, yeah, that is a lot, but Steve Rial, no, I'm sorry. You spend most of the day in the ER. I hope everything's okay. Kick your video into night mode. I could always shut off the studio lights. It screws up the chroma though. All right. All right. This is fine. Oh, this is nice. This is really nice. I have everything's in dark mode already. Just need the shades in your old school? Yeah, complete with crappy chroma. Yeah, no, it's good. I don't know what that means, Edmana. I already got my hair. Look. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Hey, that's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. Hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty neat. Get a load of that, eh? Still bald. Bro, does that look bald to you? I don't think so, son. All right. Now, over the course of this space news, I'm going to get asked every 5 seconds if I've done something different with the camera. You watch. So, Andrew, Elon said Starlink would exceed this rate. All right, let's take a look. Yep. Starlink space-to-ground lasers will exceed this. All right. Sweet. Okay. That, screws up the chroma, but it helps the EJ. All right, cool. So I don't really cover too much stuff coming out of Russia nowadays with space programs for kind of obvious reasons. I mean, there's not much to cover. That sucks. Here, check this out. So Shuttle Almanac, who's a pretty knowledgeable dude about like NASA logistics and stuff, posted this. Update. The third planned flight-worthy Soviet Buran, OK-201, the Discovery sister of the program, is undercover and receiving refurbishment in a new, just-opened museum outside Moscow. She sat for 30 years on a riverside embankment and at Zhukovsky Air Force Base, waiting recovery. Check this out, dudes. Not that any of us are gonna be able to go see this at any point, but check that out. Huh. Interesting. That's kind of cool. That one never flew. No, that is a flight that's a real one though. Or at least it was going to be. The Soviet Union folded and the Buran program was canceled while this was under construction. But it is inside awaiting restoration, which is interesting. You can see the plugs for the RCS. That's real. That's a real one, which, I mean, like I said, it never flew. Only 2 Burans flew during the program, 1 to space and 1 for atmospheric flight testing. The atmospheric flight test articles, OKGLI, that's at Technik Museum Speyer in Germany. And then the OK1.01 Buran, the actual Buran orbiter, flew once in November of 1988 on the 1K1 mission. It did 2 orbits around Earth, came back down and autonomously landed. 1K1 was getting ready for a second flight when the program was canceled, and it basically stayed inside of its integration building until 2002 when the integration building's hangar, or the roof collapsed and destroyed it and the carrier launch vehicle. Lovely. Yeah, no crew flew on the 1K1 mission. That's right. So there are 2 other flight-worthy Buran, or, well, not flight-worthy. There are 2 other flight Burans around. There's OK-102, which is, the Russians call it Little Bird. That's the one that you see in the Urbex abandoned building videos on YouTube all the time. The one that's sitting in the hangar. That's that. That's the Mark 1.1 orbiter. That's called Little Bird. They call it Burya. Yeah. That's the one that everybody goes and explores out in the middle of Baikonur. It's sitting in a hangar not far from, you know, the pads, etc., etc. And it's sitting with a thermal test model, the OKMT. This one, 201, was the Mark II version of the orbiter. This one was under construction and was getting ready to be transported to Baikonur when the program folded. So it was kind of half completed. There it is being transported around right there. I actually think that's 102. I don't think that that's this orbiter. I could be wrong, though. But yeah, this one never left Moscow. It was at Zhukovsky. And I think Menino as well. And then they used it for MAK. They drug it around during air shows and stuff. Yeah. 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 Okay. So it is in a museum, and there it's covered and it's inside, and the building is climate controlled. From what I can tell, it has HVAC systems in it, so that's kind of cool, I guess. The flight tested one had a pitot sensor. OKGLI is a pitot sensor on the front. It doesn't look exactly like this, and OKGLI has jet engines on the back. How good is the roof? I don't know, man. I don't speak Russian. You'd have to ask. All right. So let's come back, bring it back over stateside here. So check this out. My buddy Pat, who works for NSF, was taking pictures of Rocket Lab's Middle River facility, and something went horribly wrong with qualification tanks that were for Rocket Lab's Neutron rocket. Something went very wrong with that. Yeah, not great, Bob. Yeah, Rocket Lab did release a statement a little bit after this. Let's see. Let's read what they had to say. Rocket Lab Corporation, a global leader in launch services and space systems, today announced an update relating to the development of its Neutron rocket. All right, I think I'm good enough to get the lights back on. Let's do it. Whoop. There we go. As the company pushes Neutron to the limits and beyond to qualify its systems and structures for launch qualification testing of the stage... I read that wrong. As the company pushes Neutron to the limits and beyond to qualify its systems and structures for launch, qualification testing of the Stage 1 tank overnight resulted in a rupture during a hydrostatic pressure trial. Testing failures are not uncommon during qualification testing. We intentionally test structures to their limits to validate structural integrity and safety margins to ensure the robust requirements for a successful launch can be comfortably met. There was no significant damage to the test structure or facilities. The next Stage 1 tank is already in production, and Neutron's development campaign continues while the team assesses today's outcome. The team is reviewing Stage 1 test data, which will determine the extent of the impact to Neutron's launch schedule. The company intends to provide an update on the Neutron launch schedule during its 2025 quarter 4 earnings call in February. I don't think they blew this up on purpose, dudes. I'll just go outright and say it. I don't think they blew it up on purpose. This definitely was an accident. The reason why is because there's schedule impact. You can't say we meant to do this and then say right after that, yeah, we don't know when the next launch is happening. We have to give you an update based off of what we find. That was an accident. It wasn't supposed to do that. It was sad to see. Yeah, dude, it sucked. But so hydrostatic testing, what does that mean? That means they filled the tank up with water. They fill it up with distilled water, and yeah, just fill it up with water at pressure to make sure it doesn't rupture. This one unfortunately did. If it was on purpose, I doubt we would even get a press release. Bingo. Better to find out now than at launch. That's right. That's right. Check the stock. Oh, gosh. Actually, really not bad. Here. Let's take a look. So this is the 1 day. They're up today. They're down overall the past 5 days. Oh, a little turbulent there. Yeah, on Friday they were trading at 96. Now they're trading at 87. Ooh, down 10. But overall, I'd say they're doing all right. You should have bought at 15. Dude, look at that. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine if you bought like $1,000 worth of shares right here? Bought $1,000 worth of shares right there. You get a freaking 20 times the return. You'd be cashing out 20 G's right now. Yeah, Angelic, I see you. I'm just gonna zap that real quick because it's the wrong chat. Oh, man. That would have been nice to invest in, huh? Man, it was trading at $5 a share in 2024, huh? Dude, if you put 10 G's into that, you'd be cashing out 50 G's right now. I gotta do more stonking. Tape, you bought at the IPO $9.90 a share, just not a big volume, but enough to fund a nice getaway. Oh, there you go. Nice. You bought stock at $5, Andrew. Are you still in, or did you cash out? Electrocutor. Well, Pete Higgs has dismantled and rebuilt the military-industrial complex, so all the aerospace is going to be all over the place for a while. It's a good point, dude. forgive me, this is not a political statement, but I kind of agree. The president and the Secretary of Defense Ward, the Secretary of DeWows, or whatever, I don't know, call him whatever you want, I don't care. He has been going off about how stuff takes too long with the legacy contractors. He's saying Boeing, Northrop, Raytheon, they take too long, which is, I'm not going to say that could pay dividends in the space program, but that also could pay dividends for us. So you bought in at 10 and you're still in? Andrew, you're still in? Nice, dudes. Nice.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Plus 12,000%. Hey, drummer, what's up, man? 113-month resub. Greetings, Professor Falcon. Strange game. The only winning move is not to play. And Bandit had an 85er in there, too. It's still the Department of Defense. Changing the name takes a congressional act. Call it whatever you want. The news refers to it as that, man. But I don't care. You call it whatever you want, dude. Anduril's going to eat their lunch. You think so? Or Anduril is what it's called, because Lord of the Rings, because Palmer Lucky's a nerd. The good kind, though. If only out of respect for you, I'm going to keep your lips zipped. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. But, yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, Rocket Lab stock went big because of defense contracts and stuff. So, yeah. Can we call it Department of Warfence? I think I'll call it that from now on, Linprod, if it ever comes up. Rocket Lab is, Rob? No way, dude. Really? Bro, those are Tang tools that are in their technicians' facilities on the wall with everything, with like on the pegboard, everything's like super organized. That's all Tang stuff, huh? Cool. Today I learned. What are your thoughts around about them sticking to carbon fiber? There's nothing wrong with that, Yum Food. Nothing wrong with carbon fiber design. Just a little bit different manufacturing. I'm not sure if carbon fiber is going to scale to like super heavy launch vehicles, but Neutron ain't no super heavy launch vehicle, right? One of the departments bought 4 of our pre-configured kits. Word? That's awesome, dude. Neat. Well, Rob, I think that's a good time to mention this. I'll be right back. Probably a good time. No? Maybe? Yes? I got a box. No, Rob has been talking to me about Tang tools, and I bought this tool set. So I bought some just to see what it's all about. Get a little bit of trial here. So this is the first stuff that came in here. Careful, the parts will explode out of the top. Oh crap! Yeah, we should hold it upside down, huh? No, this is Tang Tools, guys. Tang Tools is they make tools. And Rob, you said you put something else in here, but I want to make this very clear, dude. I bought this. This is not a sponsorship. I bought these tools with my own cash. We did it out of pocket. Now, what's inside this box? What's behind door number 1? What is this? What did you send me? What is this? Get organized. You sent me Tang Tools beer steins? I'm not upset. I'm not upset. Oh, and coasters. Tang coasters. And a bottle opener. All right. I ain't upset. I ain't upset. That's pretty cool. I also got the catalog here. Very nice. It is Friday tomorrow. We're going to have to take him for a spin. And what I did buy here, let me just get rid of the shipping invoice because you guys don't need to see that. What I did buy was this tool set. This is a Mecha Pro. These are Swedish tools. They're Swedish. Bio, this is kind of the reason why when you said, oh, what tool should I buy the other day? I'm like, oh, a little bit of bathroom reading. That's right. So once again, fellas, I wanted to take these things for a spin and see how Tang tools stack up in the shop. So I did. This is not sponsored. I bought this out of pocket. I want to see how good these things are. I want to see if Rob they're as good as Rob says they are. So, because you already bought stuff. Well, I bought this, and I'm like, I don't know what I need because I bought this. Does it come with a 10 millimeter? Yes, it does. The ratchets are reinforced and built for pipes. Sweet. Yeah, onshore from Sweden. That's right. They're from Sweden. So, once again, this is just a quick segment for Space News. And, well, we're talking about aerospace, tools in aerospace. I mean, I guess Rocket Lab uses them. So, if it's good enough for Peter Bick, probably good enough for us assembling our junk, don't you think? All right, what do we got in here? Ooh. Ooh. Very nice. 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 Is it a 30-day warranty? I don't know what the warranty is on it. I just bought them. These are nice, dude. Yeah. Look at that. I was about to hold it up to the microphone. It's a nice star patterns. Pretty good. We got some hex sockets here. There's the 10 mil. We have the 10 millimeter. Lifetime warranty. There you go, Clayton. Got some adapters here. We got a 1/4 inch extension. We got that. I think that's a screwdriver ratchet. Very nice. This is actually this is pretty nice stuff, man. 3/8 to 1/2 inch socket adapter. Nice. Very good. And the best part is that these aren't made in West Taiwan. They're made in East Taiwan. The only Taiwan. The real Taiwan. Pretty good. Pretty good, dude. All right. We'll take these for a spin next time we're wrenching. Also, fellas, just because. Listen. Hey, listen. Ready? Oh, wait. I got to turn the Taiwan #1. That's right. All right, here, we got to turn this off. Ready? Not bad. But how much? Mutter, I do believe this was a little over it was over 200 bucks. Full disclosure. These are super nice tools. I mean, this stuff, lifetime warranty, like what Rob was saying. Pretty good, man. Got the 3/8 up here, 3/8 driver. Yeah. No, these are, guys, this is, look, there's freaking, look at all the hardware to put the ratchet together. This is not bad. This is like, and I'm not just saying this. I bought this with my own money. I'm not just saying it because some guys from Tang are here. This is good stuff. These are good tools, but we'll put them to the test. That's really what I want to see. I want to see how good they work. This is nice, dude. 277 piece kit, star patterns. You got hex patterns. Yeah, good stuff, dudes. Cool. We'll be using these on the automotive streams. And snowblower. Yeah, you know what? We'll use them in the snowblower when we fix the generator tomorrow. Generator and the other snowblower. So yeah, Rob, thank you very much. And yeah, you were telling me that Rocket Lab purchases this stuff, so that's pretty cool, man. Pretty good. We'll just get this all cleaned up so I don't get up and trip on it. Are they 12 points? No, some of them were not 12s. I have 1/4 inch hex. 1/4 inch hex. I have, these are 1/2 inch 12 point. So star pattern. And what else we got here? The 3/8 are hex as well. So it's only the 1/2 inch stuff that's star pattern. I like hex for what it's worth. This is good stuff, man. Very nice kit. Nice kit, and this box is diesel. This is heavy duty ABS. The case, guys. Fuck. Well, I'm gonna have to pick that up later. I thought the thing was latched. It wasn't. I ruined all my nice tools, but you know, whatever. Why wouldn't that happen? Do you want to get back to space news? I'm never finding the 10mm, dudes. You muppet. Well. Case is really nice when it has tools in it. All right. So we'll use those when we go to mess with the blower tomorrow. I'm not picking all that up right now. Maybe later. I'll send you a new 10mm for free. Can't freaking make this stuff up, dude. You can't make it up. I heard it unlatch, and I just went, it's going. Just let it go. Just let it go. It'll be funny. Just let it ride. I just want to make sure I don't step on any of these things and slip and break my back. Oh, boy. See, at least that wasn't a sponsorship segment, because if it was, I would have just screwed the pooch pretty bad. Now, but, you know, if I'm going to screw the pooch, I'm going to do it on my own terms. Anyway, let's get back into more space news. I'm really, really pissed that that's on the internet and I can't take it back, but that's okay. That's this business, dudes. That's this business, baby. I think I got all of it out of there. All right, excellent. The warranty only covers the tool, not the user. What if the user is a tool, though? Yeah, see, Bio gets it. So once again, fellas, this isn't a sponsorship. I bought this with my own cash. See, last, you stole my joke. I didn't steal your joke. You stole my thought. Can you stream the stuff on YouTube? Yeah, sure. At least we didn't lose the wrenches. Yeah, the wrenches are still intact. You know what? I'm just going to do the mechanics walk, the equivalent of the mechanics walk of shame. I'll just put all this back. I don't want to lose it. You know, the funny thing is, dude, I knew exactly what happened right when I heard the latch going, and I'm like, yep, all right. All right, there it goes. Well, can't take that one back. The good thing is that all the slots in this are indexed, so if you do this, there's only, it only fits, stuff only fits in the, in certain gaps. So, you know, I got that going for me, which is nice. Like, it was easy to put all the tools back because every slot is indexed to the bit. So, meaning that it goes in the square hole. 27 mil. Yeah, see, the 24 mil won't fit snug in any other spot, which is actually pretty cool. Rip anyone in Texas, damn. I don't know what that is. I'm busy being an idiot on stream, Christian. Can't you see? Stop interrupting me. Being a moron. Did we find the 10 mil? Hold on. I have an 11 millimeter. I did find the 10 mil. Nice. 10 mil. 11 mil. 9 mil. That's 4.5 millimeter. That's the adapter. This is the 16 millimeter. 17. And like I said, each one of these is indexed to it, so it only fits, like the 15 won't fit in the 13, which is pretty cool. And like I said, the case is super nice. Hey, look at us. Look at us. Who would have, we're missing like 6 sockets. 4.5 mil all the way to 8 mil. Great. I'm never finding those. No, they're under the racing rig. Okay, we'll get the rest of those later. Is there a handle? There is a handle, and I was trying to show you the handle, and then the toolbox exploded. No, I have another snowblower that we can fix too. I feel like the scale was missed. To put Starlink, normal fiber in their claim perspective, when you put all the numbers on the same scale, they come out to 400, 1,000, and 62.91. Interesting. You handled that well. Thank you. Can we see the handle? That's what I was trying to show you. This, dude, the case is heavy duty ABS. The handle is rubber. It's good stuff, dudes. And once again, not sponsored. I'm just saying that. This is really nice. And the indexing is really helping me put this all right back together after I made a fool of myself on stream. It's great. Sweet. I'll get the rest of the bits later. Cool. Yeah, it's a nice set. I bought it just because Rob was like, "Dude, you gotta try these tools. You gotta try these tools." And I'm like, "All right, fine." That kind of case would look good on a Black Rocket assembly line. There you go, Wisco. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. I will bribe Tang to send you more stuff. Well, guys, full disclosure. The reason why I keep telling you that I bought this myself is because it's my sponsorship rule. I'm just going to be 100% honest. That's my sponsorship rule. I'm not going to accept free stuff. I'm not going to accept and advertise a brand that I don't think is going to live up to what I use the tools for. Which is why, if I'm going to buy any more Tang stuff right now, I'm doing it out of pocket for the time being. Beerstein's not the one exception to that rule. Hey, I found another socket. All right. Give me some time. I want to actually use them. I want to actually use them before I say like, oh yeah, dude, like let's get more stuff. Like I want to use this stuff and I want to see it work. I want to put it to work. I'm not just going to pawn something that I don't know. I don't use just because someone's going to give me money to do it. And once again, no money has been disclosed. The only money that's been disclosed is me buying the tools. It's not free. You paid them for it. Buy yourself a set of 10 millimeter magnets and glue them to the side. So, yeah, if I want more Tang stuff, I want to use it and I want to make sure that this is the right tool for the job. And I'm pretty sure they are. They look really freaking nice. But I have always said that that's my rule. There's a reason why I don't take on sponsors very much, you know, or partnerships or anything like that, because if I don't stand behind the brand, I'm not going to be able to put my heart into it, and I'm not going to put something on you guys that I don't believe in. These tools are nice. They are super, super nice. $270, and this is a lifetime warranty. Very quality, good quality tools. They're really good. They look really nice, you know. But we're gonna put them to work, and we'll see where it goes. Which set was that? This is the Mecha Pro durable shockproof case. So, this is the TMX 098, 277 piece kit. Or no, not 277. 270 was the price. It's the TMX 098. That's the set. Cool. Also, for future reference, if you do buy one of these, how this latch mechanism works, you click that open. Okay? And if you want to close it, you click it close before you try to, you know, show the case working. Because if you don't click those close, we saw what happens. Yeah. I figured out how those work, but I paid the stupid tax for it. So, yeah, there you go, guys. I want to use them. We're going to put them to work. I think, tomorrow morning, I'll get my generator out that doesn't work and the other snowblower, and we'll try to fix those too. Are you able to show the front? Look. Dama, we'll get back to Winter Car on the other side of Space News. Good stuff, dudes. I mean, Rob, I didn't know that Rocket Lab purchased them. That's pretty interesting. You might be needing the generator. That was the whole impetus for doing small machine repair electrocutor. So yeah, that when I say we're going to put these tools to use, I mean, we're going to take apart an old generator and I'm going to try to figure out what's wrong with the other snowblower. I await the verdict. I need new sockets. Well, let's put them to use tomorrow morning then. I'll get up a little bit earlier. I'll get the generator up here and we'll try to figure out what's wrong with that thing. And if we have to take stuff apart, we're using the tangs. How's that? Does it sound like a deal? I'll take my PBT keycaps. Thank you very much. SpaceX and NASA use Tang as well. Rob, why didn't you tell me this? So, Rob, funny story. I've always wondered who Rocket Lab is using for their tools, because they have super sick setups in the factory of all their tools. Let me see. I want to see. I don't know if the tools that they're showing off are Tangs, but now we'll find out. We'll put it to the test. Let me find. Let me go in here. Back to space stuff. Do you at least have an affiliate link? No. Drummer, I don't want any strings attached until I vouch for them. We're gonna use them. I'm not gonna vouch for a tool I don't use. I will not do that. We're gonna be a little bit of a detective here. Maybe Investor Day and Neutron update. Let's go. I need to see some pictures of these melon farmers' factories. Peter Beck. Nah, that's the investor meeting. Perhaps let's watch a video that I've watched already. All right, let's look around here. You want one Super 6 setup? That one's on sale for $10,000. I mean, Aqualux, I do want that, but also, yeah, I'll get back to you. Whose torque wrench is that? That guy's torquing a hex bolt? I suppose that's fine. Now we gotta peep around. Now we gotta peep around here. You see. No, more factory footage. The flag's backwards. Footage from Rocket Lab Virginia building showing them using Cornwall tools. Cornwall are good. That's a good tool set. Cornwalls are good. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We saw some. Oh, what's going on over there? I mean, guys, yeah. Let's see. I just want to see if we've seen them in the past. Look, all I'm saying is I have some Cornwall tools from the 80s at my parents' house. My dad has them, and they are not bad. Nice typo, 619. I know what you mean, though, dude. Snap-ons are good tools, guys. I'm not going to sit here and disparage other tools. I like tools. Craftsman from the 80s is good. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see what we got here real quick for the rest of this space news. That has no factory footage. All right, cool. Production at scale. Let's see. Woof. Can't see any of the toolboxes. See, Rocket Lab puts everything on these other tools. They hang them on pegboards like that. I think that's super cool. Look around. Anything? Need the one of their rocket assembly and integration, dude. It's like an older video. I remember we've seen it, a little while back. Facilities tour. All right. Yeah, see? That's what I'm talking about right there. Wonder what tools those are. It's a nice mill right there. Wait, was that a Haas? Yeah, they're affordable. That wasn't our box. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm just peeping around. I want to see if there's any of your stuff in the background, dude. Oh, wait a minute. I saw something. That looks like a garbage. Yeah, that's a garbage can. Those are brute garbage cans. Et tu brute garbage cans, as I like to say. Nice. I haven't seen any. Anyway. Cool. We'll keep an eye out. That's cool that everybody in the aerospace industry uses it. It doesn't look like you're the full supplier, but yeah, that's still cool. All right. Anyway, back over to space news. So if you guys check this out here, let me get it on the main screen. But anyway, Rob, thanks for the care package, dude. I do appreciate it. NASA did a test of engine 2063. This is a X Space Shuttle engine 2063. This was this afternoon. Guys, interesting thing about this motor. This was on the test stand at Stennis. This is the Fred Hayes test stand, or formerly the A1 test stand. Interesting thing about this motor. This motor was the one that was on SLS that they took off. It was on Artemis 1, and they took it off. And they did a qualification test with it today. Don't worry, EJ. Your nerd card was reinstated. Yeah, I like brute. I have brute garbage cans in my shop, Shazbert. Yeah. Because they're really, really good. Here we go. Let's get to the good stuff. I said let's get to the good stuff. Thank you. Very nice. Very nice. So, yeah, this was put on the test stand, and the test seemed to go pretty dang well. It belongs in her museum. Yeah. Yeah. This was on Artemis 2 before it was swapped out last year for 2061. Yes, I said 1. Sorry, Psycho. Yeah, my head's killing me. I'm still trying to get over that. I apologize, that was wrong. It was Artemis 2. They swapped it. So that's interesting that they put it out on the test stand. But look, this is carrying a bunch of new shiny parts on it. So I'm wondering if they hot rodded this thing with RS-25E components, because that accumulator is not a shuttle. That's not from the shuttle program. The accumulator from the shuttle didn't look like that. That is a gas accumulator. Long story short, it looks really shiny, and it looks new. Engine belongs in a flying shuttle, yeah. It is shuttle derived. Well, that isn't shuttle derived. That is a shuttle component. That's a shuttle engine. 2063 flew on the space shuttle, which is pretty sweet. So yeah, they did a test of it today. Everything looked good from that test. Yeah, pretty good stuff. That is all for the that is an engine test for the SLS program. Which we should be seeing a launch here no earlier than February 6th. So speaking of that, NASA did give us a progress update here about the preparations ahead of the wet dress rehearsal, which should be late next week, maybe the week after. But let's see. Shortly after NASA's Artemis II Space Launch System rocket and the Orion spacecraft arrived to Launch Pad 39B at the agency's Kennedy Space Center in Florida on January 17th, engineers began preparations for an upcoming wet dress rehearsal, a fueling test of the rocket set to occur before launch. Technicians hooked up purge lines meant to keep cavities of the rocket and spacecraft in the right conditions, enabled communications with the Launch Control Center, and performed swing tests of the crew access arm, the bridge that allows the crew and other personnel to access Orion. The emergency egress system, a slide wire and basket system that allows for a quick exit in case of an emergency, also was connected, allowing teams to practice releasing the baskets. Orion and elements of the rocket, including the core stage, interim cryogenic propulsion stage, and boosters, have been powered on. Teams are in the midst of a multi-day testing of radio frequency communications between the rocket and the eastern testing range. Technicians are scheduled to begin servicing the SLS twin solid rocket boosters with hydrazine over the weekend. They will also load several final items into Orion, including the tablets for the crew, medical kits, and several scientific payloads such as the Avatar investigation. That's a biological experiment that's being done on Orion. During the upcoming wet dress rehearsal, the teams demonstrate the ability to load more than 700,000 gallons of cryogenic propellants into the rocket, conduct a launch countdown, and practice safely removing propellant from the rocket without astronauts on site. If needed, engineers can roll back SLS and Orion to the vehicle assembly building for additional work. While the Artemis II launch window opens early as Friday, February 6th, the mission management team will assess flight readiness after the wet dress rehearsal across the spacecraft, launch infrastructure, and crew operations teams before selecting a final launch date. Cool. So they're well into the launch campaign. I would like to add that rollback is one of the things they're only going to do if they absolutely have to. Artemis 2, unlike Artemis 1, is ideally planned to only roll to the pad once, and that's already happened. They can do it if they need to, but they won't. Only if they have to. Imagine if they put that thing into something like Star Raker instead of SLS. Nothing to that, just something nice to imagine. They can think of 1,000 better applications, Aqualux. Yeah. Yeah. That engine would be so good for an SSTO, dude. Shuttle engines would be excellent at that. Like, it's frustrating. But yeah, whatever. If they don't pick the February date, the next option is in March. Yeah, the first 2 weeks of March. Yep. They need to launch around the first 2 weeks of February or March, guys, not the latter 2 weeks of each one of those months. Because the moon has to be in the right place. Long story short, that's kind of important. You know, mission going to the moon, you got to make sure you're aiming at it correctly. You can only aim at it from certain points when you're at Kennedy Space Center. After so many years, it's still an S-tier engine. I will say it once, I'll say it again, Zeros. The RS-25 is one of the best rocket engines we've ever designed. Period. Full stop. I think it's only bested by maybe Raptor. Raptor. And yeah, that's about it. Seriously, it's that freaking good. Scrubbing the window means we could potentially see Northrop Grumman and SLS, or New Glenn and SLS on the pads at the same time. I would really much like to see that, Billy. That would be really cool. Never got to see what it could do for reusability. Zeros, did I ever tell you about the AR-22 program? Nah, I don't think so. This is, let me just see something. Yeah, check this out. Here, this is the AI overview, but it's right. The AR-22 is a liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen rocket engine developed by Aerojet Rocketdyne as a reusable, reliable power plant for Boeing's Phantom Express spaceplane. Derived from the Space Shuttle main engine, it was designed for rapid reusability, up to 10 flights in 10 days to reduce launch costs. So it says it's shuttle derived or shuttle main engine derived. It's not. The AR-22 uses only off-the-shelf Block 2 SSME components. So any space shuttle main engine that's carrying a 2 in the front serial number, think about it like winter car, you're tracing the VIN. Yeah. So any shuttle engine that's 20XX is a Block 2 SSME. The AR-22 is using off-the-shelf Block 2 SSME components. Now, listen to this. Right here. Performance and testing. In 2018, the AR-22 completed a rigorous 10-day ground test series, performing one 100-second firing each day to demonstrate its rapid turnaround capability. Brother, we have no idea how good that engine is. It's that freaking good, dude. Look. Hello, everyone. First time chatting. Been watching for about a year now. Hey, astronaut guy, what's up? Yep. Can you explain why there's a certain time to go to the moon if it's just there? Belt-fed orbital mechanics is the big thing. The moon is 6 degrees inclined to Earth's equator. Okay? So that means if you have an equatorial plane of Earth, the moon's tilt is 6 degrees relative to the Earth's equator, or the Earth's equatorial plane. Now, on top of that, dude, the Earth has a 21 degree axial tilt. So 6 degrees compounded on 21, right? The moon has, it doesn't always, the path for it to get the right, so I'm trying to explain this in layman's terms. The time to get the right orbital tilt, right? The right orbital plane to line up the moon with, with Kennedy Space Center comes around only pretty much once every 2 weeks. Well, twice every 2 weeks, technically. But yeah, it's orbital mechanics, dude. You ideally want to enter into an orbital plane out of Kennedy Space Center that more or less matches the moon's orbit, or is at least within a little ways of that 6 degree tilt. Now, think about it like this. Moon's 6 degrees inclined. Kennedy Space Center's 27 degrees north. If you launch due east out of Kennedy Space Center, you're getting put in a 27 degree inclined orbit. Your orbital plane's 27 degrees off the equator. The moon is 6 degrees. That's a 21 degree difference. You have to make that up somehow. Right? And like I said, everything's weeble wobbling around on Earth with Earth's axial tilt, right? And everything's weeble wobbling around. There's only so many times when all the planes all the orbital planes that are needed to do this mission kind of intersect with Kennedy Space Center. That's the shorter answer. Amazing they figured it out proper back in the 60s. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. I mean, belt fed, it's not just that. You also have to go around the Van Allen belts. They don't want to go through the Van Allen belts. So you have to launch at a tilt that's going to go around the Earth's magnetic field. You have to take into account solar geostorms, right? CMEs, coronal mass ejections from the sun, solar winds, and a bunch of stuff, dude. We're basically sniping a capsule out to go around the moon, which is 250,000 miles away. Think about a sniper shot at like 2 miles, a Cold War shot with a sniper rifle 2 miles away. You need to know the windage. If you don't know the windage, if you don't know the weather, if you don't know the gravitational pull, you're screwed. We're doing that, but instead of 2 miles away, it's 250,000 miles away. Make sense? Flagging, yeah. Orbital mechanics, dude. Big pain in the butt. So, like, the VA, just a little bit more on this. He said more on. The reason why matching the tilts, the orbital planes to be right, really boils down to this. It's hard to turn in space. It's hard to make a left-hand turn. On orbit, plane changes. So changing the tilt of your orbit, changing what's called inclination, is an extremely delta V intense maneuver. Long story short, it's better to wait until everything lines up, and then all of your Delta V can be used to get out to the moon rather than, trying to launch in what's called in the wrong phase and then trying to adjust your orbit to get to the right spot and go. Think about it, dude. Something like the ISS is orbiting around the Earth at 17,500 miles an hour. Think about it if you were driving in a car down a road that fast. What would happen when you try to turn? You try to turn the wheel. You're not making a 90-degree turn, right? Your car is basically it's going to fly. It's going to have this huge arc, right? You're not going to be able to make a sharp turn going that fast, right? And honestly, if you're going that fast and you turn the wheels to the left, right, you probably blow the tires before you even made it a little ways around the turn, right? That with spacecraft. It's really, really difficult to change direction that way in space because you're going against the grain. You have 17,500 miles an hour velocity in that direction. It's tough to go in that direction. So you wait until everything lines up and then you take your shot. Dale Sr. could have done it. I'd believe it. Do it for Dale. Be like Biff. So is the inclination of the moon the same for each of the Apollo missions? Not exactly. So get this, dude. The tilts, the inclinations, and the phasing doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be close. With the Apollo missions, they launched at a bunch of different times. With Apollo, they wanted to make sure the close side of the moon, the side that we see, was in the daylight. So the far side of the moon was eclipsed for all of the Apollo missions. But all of the Apollo missions went to different inclinations, different local tilts around the moon, because all the different launch sites were at different latitudes. So each one of them launched with a slightly offset tilt to the moon in one way or another. Long story short, but they all launched to get around the Van Allen belts. Skeptics are like, how'd they make it through the radiation belt? Bro, it's a radiation belt. It's a belt. It's a ring. It's not a freaking sphere. We're not on planet Druidia here, man, right? You can go around it, and that's what they do. They go around it. That's what Apollo is doing. That's what Artemis is doing. It's going around it. Why are we going to fly through irradiated space willingly? That's really stupid. My head hurts. Good. That means I'm doing my job. Also, they wanted the Apollo sites to be near lunar morning when they landed, usually in the waxing phase, depending on how east or west the site was. Yeah, exactly, Kevin. There you go. Because free X-rays. It's not just an X-ray. It's a free gamma ray, free beta rays, free real estate. It's free real estate. No, you seriously don't want to fly through that. That would be bad. Yeah, your body would probably not be happy with you. Free third arm. Yeah. Gamma, that makes Hulks. Oh, mother of God, you're right. Okay, maybe we should do... No, don't. That's bad. But yeah, that's why they went around them. It's good stuff, man. Like, dude, what always gets me, VA, is that the guys from Apollo did that with a computer. They figured this out mostly by doing out the math, but they had a computer to validate their math, and the computer that validated their math is about as good as a pocket calculator. Like, brother, I think they had like IBM 3s or something. I believe that's what Jerry Griffin told me when I interviewed him one time. He was a flight controller, or not a flight controller. He was a mission controller. It was an IBM 3, I think is what he said. I'd have to look. Yeah, IBM 3. Yeah, that's a computer. I mean, like I said, can it run Crisis? No, that cannot run Crisis, man. Fellas, like I said, figuring out orbital mechanics and math. I mean, most of it was done by hand. They had computers. That was a job title, not an object. The computers were like predominantly women that did all the math out for all the orbital mechanics and and they validated the analysis. Hidden Figures is about that. That's what Hidden Figures is about, which is pretty cool. No, I'm not talking about the computers that are on the spacecraft, King. You're getting confused. I'm talking about the computers on the ground to do your analysis. Doing analysis for a spacecraft with a computer that's as powerful as a pocket calculator is very, very, very difficult. I'm not talking about the rope memory that was on the Apollo guidance computer. That's different. That's a whole different other thing, dude. Did you see that For All Mankind is returning in March? I did. Yeah, actually, if you guys know the actor Jack Black, his mother was a computer at NASA. Yeah, go look it up. Pretty cool. Yeah. So like, I'm not, like I said, I'm not talking about the AGC. I'm talking about the computer that they had on the ground to figure out the math. They weren't just drawing it out on a chalkboard. They did have basic computers, but the basic computer is a joke. Like I said. So think about this, King. What I'm trying to tell you is, you have a pocket calculator, a little like a little Texas Instruments pocket calculator, like a little guy that's about the size of a business card. You have to do the math out for a spacecraft to get to the moon with that. With that. Think about that for a second. That's ridiculous. That's insane. Even for having a calculator, that's ridiculous. We need NASA to be back on the cutting edge of the amount of compute they have to work. NASA should be going full bore on quantum computing. I agree, C. Kraken. Imagine a spacecraft with a quantum computer. That'd be pretty good. You want to do a software update? Software updates happen instantly. That'd be pretty nice. Pretty easy to fix it if something goes wrong, just saying. Dynasty, I'm doing great, man. How are you? What did you get in the box? I got a Tang Tools tool set. This is a TMX098 toolkit. I bought it with my own money because one of my buddies in chat's saying you should buy these tools. So I bought some and we'll use them to figure out what's wrong with the generator tomorrow morning. I have a generator that needs to be fixed. I'm going to get wailed on with snow over the weekend. So that we should probably make sure that works. So we're going to take it apart with these bad boys. And we're going to figure out how good these tools are. I'm going to see if my buddy was lying to me or not. Don't drop it when it's open. Yes, that's probably also a good idea. Stream it? Oh, you betcha. Yeah, we're going to stream it tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'll do that. We'll do that tomorrow morning, and however much time it takes, you could go all the way to the flame trench. We'll see. Snow tomorrow from Canada with love. Knucklehead, we are going to get wailed on, dude. They're projecting 30 to 60 centimeter from Sunday into Monday, so... I'm happy about this. So that's 1 to 2 feet for everybody else. Yeah, that's actually here. Hold on. Let me see if they have any new. So on X, right? There's all the National Weather Service stuff. And actually they're pretty good follows, dude. If you want a weather forecast, they'll tell you. You see the part that's circled? That's where I live. Damn it. The part that's circled is the spot where they're like, yeah, you're probably going to get a lot of snow. Yeah. You hate to see it, yeah. You might be able to build a half pipe in your backyard after that. Yeah, that's a good idea. I remember a Canadian streamer was watching talking about his high for this week was going to be 14. 14F with negative lows. Dude, do you want to see? Aqualex, peep this. Peep this. Look at that. Hyannis would be... Hyannis is close to me. That's on the other side of the bridges, though. Yeah. Yeah. New Bedford is... Yeah, that. Right. Yeah. Okay. 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 That's the wind chill. I'm talking about raw temperatures. The high tomorrow is 8 Fahrenheit. 8. Or on Saturday. It's on Saturday. But yeah, National Weather Service stuff is pretty good, man. Oh, look. Oh, look at tonight's forecast. Plymouth is 5 Fahrenheit. That's great. That's great. Hope nothing breaks. Hope nothing breaks. The low for you is 1F. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Holy cow, I can't believe Max Evans escaped to Norway to escape the cold weather. Yeah, Ryan, I know. What a lucky guy or something. Here, hold on. What's the weather like up there in Indoya? Oh, yeah, no, they got us beat. Yeah. Yeah, that's about, yeah. Actually, you know what? Now that I'm looking at that, that's about the same. 0 precipitation, 90% humidity. Woof. All right. All right. 7. 7. That's lovely. Okay. I will trade you 12 inches of snow for your ½ inch of ice. No, I'm good. Northern Norway can get pretty cold? Oh. Guys, you're minus 16 right now. What's the weather here? Let me check the local forecast here. Hold on. It's 1 centigrade. It's not bad. That's pretty warm, actually. Check Lapland, Finland. I know there are places that are colder, guys. I got 2 more articles for you here. Let's check this one. This is from Rocket Factory Augsburg. So, we are delighted to announce that we will be launching 2 more missions for ESA and the EU Commission with RFA-1. Through ESA's flight ticket initiative as part of the Boost! Programme, we will be welcoming missions from AVS Engineering and Indra on board. We look forward to supplying Europe's IOD/IOV activities with dedicated launch capacity. Do they know they don't have an operable vehicle, or? Nah, I'm just kidding. Providers sign contracts and memorandums of understanding with companies and investors, et cetera, without having a vehicle. That's anticipation of the vehicle flying. That happens all the time. It's just kind of funny to bring it up. Yeah, Lava Eagle. Yeah, exactly. What, more missions? Yeah, right. Rocket Factory Augsburg, for a little background as to the joke that I made. RFA last year had a rocket on the test stand at their Shetland launch facility. I think it's Shetland, right? They launch in the UK at their Shetland launch facility, and
Discovery,
it exploded.
go throttle up.
It caught on fire, technically. But yeah, it blew up. Perseverance on Mars is currently 6. Oh, it's warmer on Mars. That's good. Hey, Raven Guard, 70-month resub. Yeah. It was the most cinematic metal fire I've ever seen. How does ITAR work for you in England? It's about the same as ours, Sea Kraken. Yeah, about the same. Yeah, they have arms trafficking regulations too. Don't talk about it, right? Like same as us. Yeah, the English got it all figured out, Snibbles. It's like, oh, I can't leak information about rockets if we got none of those, mate. We're thinking ahead, aren't we? Oh, hey, Ryan. I mean, to need ITAR, we'd need a rocket to... Oh, you made a joke, too. All right, cool. About that time, eh, chaps? Righto. I was expecting to get crap, but you agreed with me, so I don't know what to say now. Have you seen the accumulation forecast? I don't want to know. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's funny when Mark Roper ran into ITAR restrictions when making a model rocket a while back. Yeah, electrocutor. It's not, that's actually not ITAR. What that is substance control. You can only, unless you have the proper license, you can only procure certain amounts of ammonium perchlorate, solid rocket fuel, before someone in the government's going to go, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing with that? That's really explosive, right? That's why you get certifications, L1, L2, L3 certifications, so you can handle the forbidden cookie dough. It was also the active guidance. Yeah, that's frowned upon. That was the best French accent ever. Thank you. British, I thought it was Aussie. Nah, mate. This is an Australian accent. It's completely different. They don't sound the same at all, mate. They're completely different. With that being said, what do I know? I'm an American. They all sound the same to me, right? Now do Dutch. You don't have an accent. You sound like this. Like, what do you want? Thanks, mate. Yeah, I've had a lot of time to practice.
Go at throttle up.
Actually, hey, King Kitten, tier 2, 118-month resub. Thanks, man. Wow, that was almost passable. All right, thanks, mate. Really appreciate you. Yeah. According to you, us Brits all sound like Dick Van Dyke. I don't know, man. Whatever. I'd like to see you try a Kiwi accent. My Kiwi accent just ends up sounding Australian, so I don't do it. And they are different. I can hear the difference. I just can't sound the difference. If that makes any sense. Yeah. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I got a care package from the PO box from a viewer from Australia. It is quite actually full of every flavor of Tim Tam ever devised. Yep. It's awesome. We will slam some on stream. Abso-freaking-lutely, dude. Yeah. Tim Tam slams, man. Tim Tam slams. What's the strongest flavor? I have no idea, dude. I'm telling you, this box is full of, dude, every flavor, every single one of them. I had a strawberry Tim Tam the other day. It was awesome. You know what? It was awesome. It was delicious. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I did it off stream. I had to see what it's about. Question: with ESAR launch coming soon, how far do you think the launch will go? Dynasty Spectrum 2 needs to work. Spectrum 2 needs to work. It's you can do John Lennon, right? Yeah, Ken. Hey, Yoko, get the drugs. Well, just remember, mate, with our imagination, there's no limit to what we can imagine. That's really not John Lennon, though. That's just generic Beatles accent. So Dynasty ESAR has to work, dude. Yeah, that would not be good if it doesn't work. One failure on the first flight, yeah, that happens. Failure on the second flight, you got a big. You're probably going to start getting cash flow problems. Nobody wants to fly on a rocket that blows up. Are you familiar with the Reflect satellite? They blew me away at the Astro Awards. No, I'm not. Yeah, Zonku. Well, I get them shipped to my door, which is pretty sweet. Be not afraid of pink food. Be afraid only of running out of it. Yep. Sorry, I had to step out. Dinner was calling. It's all good, Rob. I didn't drop any more tools and make a fool of myself. Don't worry. Much. I am not the one who uses the tools. I am the tool. All right? When somebody goes looking around for a wrench and they try to find the wrench, I am the one who wrenches. It worked. You're definitely a tool. That's the joke. At least I hope Spectrum reaches the second stage portion of flight. But yeah, it'll need, dude. Astronaut guy. It has to work. It has to work. Like, I am saying, I'm putting myself in the shoes of Daniel, the CEO. It has to work. You can't not work. All right. This market is already getting super competitive, and ESAR has the benefit of being ahead of everybody else in the commercial market, in the European commercial spaceflight market. They're ahead of RFA. They're ahead of Orbex. They're ahead of PLD Space. All right? You've actually launched something. That's a big deal. If you want, it's only going to be a matter of time before one of these other guys, I think it's going to be PLD with Mura 5 or Mura 5. I think that thing will go. PLD is damn good at what they do. You're my favorite tool. Thank you. Winter weather impacts. Yeah, not great, Hellfish. So, like I said, it might not seem like it, but the European commercial launch market it's heating up, guys. It's getting pretty damn competitive. And that doesn't even include Maya Space, which is the Ariane Group's kind of new space entry, This thing needs to work if ESAR wants to stay ahead. It has to work. Can't not work. Got to get something into space, dude. Remember, this has paying customers payloads on it too. There's 4 CubeSats on the Spectrum 2 launch. It has to, dude. It has to work. Can't not work. If it doesn't work, you got a big problem. There's commercial satellite providers popping up all over the place in Europe and in the United States, where we kind of invented that, but they're everywhere, dude. ESAR has, dude. They have to go. They have to go because, ESA and like the European Union is only gonna, or whoever kind of is the regulatory body for national security payloads and whatnot over there. Like, they're only gonna work with European satellite providers, right? So, like, I was about to say ESA won't give a mission to NASA or SpaceX or something, but they absolutely have. But they're looking to the EU is looking to bring that in house. That's why they're paying these companies. That's why they gave Space a big contract for reusable space launch vehicles, right? They're eventually their point is that there's a lot of government money going around Europe that is up there for grabs, and whoever gets it is going to survive, or at least it doesn't guarantee survival. Nothing's guaranteed in this business, but it'll ensure long-term profitability at the very least. The demand, like, that's what I mean. The Europeans are going to want their own vehicles, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I've been saying do that for years. You know, are the satellites that they are deploying going to be in low Earth orbit? Yes, Leo. They're just CubeSats. They're like 1U CubeSats. They're about there's 4 of them. They're about the size of a shoebox. You can already smell the shepherd's pie. Oh, you dick. I'm fasting right now, Nick. Why would you do that to me, man? I haven't eaten anything today. Jackass. I know for a fact that a Spanish satellite built by my friend of mine was slated to fly on Vega, but due to reasons they were transferred to SpaceX. Lava, those reasons are exactly why I think Spectrum 2 absolutely needs to go. It was supposed to fly on Vega. No one wants to fly on a rocket that blows up, that doesn't work. No one wants to fly on that. Like, I mean, it's pretty straightforward stuff. Chicken soup, grilled cheese. Why are you doing this, man? Why are you doing this? What a dick move. Oh, hey, Rocket Guy, what's up? Yeah, you want to fly on the one that doesn't explode. Or a rocket whose fuel tanks get thrown out. Yeah. Yeah, Rarest. I still can't believe that. That's the most Italian thing ever. Wait, what fuel tanks? You do not give me the fuel tanks. No, we did give you the fuel tanks. Oh, those ones. Mario, please go find those fuel tanks. I think we threw them away. That's the most Italian thing ever. That's funny that like, I don't know, as ethnically Italian, I find that really funny. Dude, at least nobody's talking about nuggies. So that's the one that EJ makes. Man. Bro, I thought that was an expendability joke. Did they genuinely trash flight hardware? They found flight hardware for Vega C in the dumpster. Yes, that happened. You also read a post a while back of the CEO of Arianespace of someone on the same level said something of the sort, we don't mind to screw the European taxpayer. We must prop up Ariane 6 and Vega. Ariane 6 and Vega exist for the same reasons that Atlas V, Vulcan, and SLS exist, Lava Eagle. Does that make sense? Yeah, it happens. The rocket won't explode if it's in the trash. Yes, that is very right. Still can't, Ryan, they did that. They did that. You throw away... Throw away space hardware. How does that happen?
I'm in space.
How does that happen? Oh, Hokey found you, Rocket Guy. You got gifted a sub. Right on. How does that happen? All right. Speaking of European satellite launchers, this is the last article that I got. Orbex's subsidiary in Denmark to file for bankruptcy. This is from Andrew Parsonson. Orbex's Danish subsidiary, Orbital Express Launch APS, is set to file for bankruptcy with its facilities closing on the 20th of January, okay, and approximately 90 employees losing their job. UK-based Orbital Express Launch established its business in Denmark
This is space. I'm in
Predominant
space.
gifted 5. Thank you. In Denmark in October of 2016, according to the company, its Copenhagen-based business carried out work in propulsion testing, software, avionics, and business services. In its year-end 2024 financial statements, its most recent filings, Orbital Express Launch APS reported losses of 70,673,917 kroner, which is 9.46 million euros. Oof. Well, its balance sheet as of the 31st of December 2024 showed negative equity of 55,383,356 kroner. The company's auditors noted that it was fully reliant on funding from its parent company, Orbital Express Launch Limited, and warned that its ability to continue operating was subject to material uncertainty regarding its ability to secure financial funding or future financing. On January 20th, more than 15 Orbex employees announced at around the same time on LinkedIn that they were looking for work. Since then, European Spaceflight has received confirmation from 3 independent sources who wish to remain anonymous that the subsidiary has dismissed its entire workforce, with the company expected to file for bankruptcy on the 22nd of January. Hey, that's today. Hey, Heavy Metal, what's up, man? Tier 2, 72 months. I'm enjoying the care package, man. Pretty good. Yeah, that's not great. While its Danish business is filing for bankruptcy, the company announced on the 21st of January that it had entered into talks to sell the rest of its operations to European space logistics startup, the Exploration Company. Can anyone come up with a good name for a freaking company? The Exploration Company? The Exploration. That's it. That's the best you could do? Is this some of the packaging showing up on the green screen? The company. Space Exploration Technologies is the name of SpaceX. Yeah, I know. Okay. The announcement stated that the companies have signed a letter of intent. Negotiations have begun. It added that all details about potential purchase are confidential at this stage. All right. I've seen what I needed to see. That's done. Orbex is out. That's what I mean, man. This industry is cutthroat, dude. Real cutthroat. It's a really hard it's a really hard business to stay in. How did I know someone was going to do it, Astro? How did I know? How did I know, Knucklehead? I knew someone was going to say it. I didn't say nothing. You said something. Say nothing. Starbase, Texas, just saying. Naming things is well dead. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Hard to make a new name when all the good ones are taken. How about Flippity Floppity Floop Incorporated? There you go. That's more creative than the Exploration Company. Give me 1 second. How about Company McCompany Face? Still more creative. Well, engineers do have a habit of naming things what they... Yeah, okay. East India Space Trading Company. No, Snarfer. How about Mari Tranquilitatis Space Trading Company, okay? How about Frau Moro Space Trading Company? Taurus Litro Space Trading Incorporated. Boom. There you go. We were here for 5 minutes. We came up with a better name. Livosia Space. EJSA. There you go. That's a good one. Blocko. Blocko Space Trading. Extraterrestre Blocko. Hear me out. Rocket Limited Liability Company. Anyway. Tranquility Direct. See, that's what I mean, dude. Five minutes of brainstorm, we come up with a better name. Exploration Company. Orbex. Orbital Space Engineering Limited. No, Astro, it's all good. I don't want to talk about any of that stuff, man. I don't want to talk about that stuff. We got to nip it in the bud before it gets out of hand, and it can get out of hand quickly. Rocket King. Corpus Space. I like that. Corpus Space. That's a good one. Uranus Spaceflight Incorporated. Still more creative, Dak. Still more creative. Gorlami Space. Oh, I like that. Welcome to Wumbacom. I like that too. That's a good one. Uranus Exploration Technologies. If I ever hit the Powerball, I'll do that. I'll do that. Not even kidding. I'll do that. Actually, I have other names, but I won't say them. I don't want to jinx it. I'm not even kidding. I'm not, this isn't me. Like I have thoughts about this. If I ever come into some capital about naming what my rocket company's name, it's pretty cool, but I'm not saying it. But it is like that. Not Uranus Exploration Technologies. No, we're not like that, but yeah, it's funny like that. EJ Space and Rocket Company. Damn, how'd you know? All right. Enron. That's a good name. We should name... You know what? Maybe not. Maybe not that one. Johnson & Johnson. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Incorporated. Berkeley Space Program. Yeah. Wumbo Max Incorporated. I do like that. That's actually pretty good. Muscle Car Space Corporation. Shalon. Okay. All right. Utopia Planitia. I like that. That's a good one. The company formerly known as SpaceX. Yeah, I'll call it that. The company formerly known as SpaceX. All right. Untitled Space Company. Yeah, but then everybody would call it USC, and I think like, you know, canonically, that's already taken. Bliat Limited Liability Company. I don't think that would fly. But Solid Rocket Candy, a lot of guys in Russia are going, nah, yes, that is a good name. You should call it that. And Chuck, I'm not gonna lie, he'd probably find that name funny. Corpus Space, yes. Hello, I'm new here. Can we start a company now? LLC. All right. Okie dokie. Tyrrell Space. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. How about Wayne Yutani? That's a good one. Yeah. Exotinzo Explorations. Yeah, Exotino even line the T. Calpoista. All right. How hard could it be? That's a good one. Yeah, yeah. Event Horizon. Now, that's actually a pretty cool name. Kuat Drive Yards. Incom Corporation, Velk. Kuat's pretty good. Pretty good heavy shipbuilding, though. Incom is where it's at. Just saying. I do like that. Oculus. The no-name brand. Stugatz. Sinar Systems. Nice. All right. Breaking Plaid. Fuck, it's that. That's a good one. I like that one. That one's good. Breaking Plaid. Okay. All right. That's enough. That's going to do it for the Space and Rocket review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah. No space news tomorrow, but we have Flame Trench tomorrow, so that should be fun. At Earth Orbital. Oh, Gwen, that would make people go crazy. Anyway, Breaking Plaid is an amazing name. I agree, Yoho. That's really good. I don't know if it's another solo one. We'll see. Let me take a look.
Oh, this is space.
People signed up for it. So yeah, it's not going to be just me. Hey, Oki gifted a sub to Cyborg. There you go. United Nations Space Company, UNSC. I like that. I like that name. That's a good one. All right. I'm out for the night. All right, Dan, have fun. Did you speak about 18.3? Oh, yes. So, yeah, we should probably save it for Flame Trench tomorrow, dude. Kind of already signed us off. We're going to go back over to Winter Car, but yeah, SpaceX blew up 18.3, a test article. I don't know if it was on purpose or not. We could talk more about that on Flame Trench, though, if you want. But for now, Jadub's 15-month resub. Thank you. For now, we will switch back over to my Winter Car, and I'm going to try to put this thing together and see what else we need. All the rocket bodies exploding. Nice. All right, anyway. Stand by for a loss of signal real quick. I'm going to jog the YouTube VOD. We'll go back over to Winter Car and Twitch. Don't need to go anywhere. YouTube, I'll see you on the other side. Thank you for watching this Space and Rocket review. I'll see you in the next one.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Boxo, 4 months. Thank you.